likes this guy named Patrick. He's kinda pathetic, so tragic. Makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. He lost his marbles, everyone knows. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last. Some say he's sensational, others say he's delusional, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's not the sharpest tool, others say he's just a tool, but most agree he fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. No one likes this guy named Patrick. Super pathetic, dramatic, kinda believes in magic. Magic makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. What's next? The moon is a hoax. Well, I kinda believe in that one myself. Anyway, back to the song. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's sensational, others say he's delusional, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's not the sharpest tool, others say he's just a tool, but most agree he fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and bet it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and bet it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and bet it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and bet it sucks. I got a
Let's go, y'all. We got disclosure. I'm just kidding. But we did get the drop. Okay, the UFO first batch, I should say. Let's clarify here. These are the facts. This is the first batch of UFO files being released by President Donald Trump's administration. It is going through the war.gov website, and it's supposed to come out episodically, meaning every week, allegedly, there will be file drops, right? Now, how long that goes, I don't know. But that's essentially it. So this first drop, there are some videos, files. We're going to take a look at some things. And I did see online that Representative Anna Paulina Luna mentioned that those 46 UFO videos, if you remember, if you've been following the topic, that those were, they were trying to get those declassified. She said that those are coming on the next drop, so which would be next week. Now, I don't know if it's going to fall on the same day every week. I don't know, right? All I know is that they're coming like a TV show, right? Episodes, and that's where we're at. So those are the facts. Aliens.gov. I don't even know what that's for. That could be for something else entirely. It has nothing to do with this. So, it's not going through the Arrow website either. It's all on war.gov/UFO. So if you want to check it out yourself, that's how you do it. So again, war.gov/UFO, and you can find everything there. But I've got it pulled up. Let's take a look. So here we go. We got some things right off the bat. You can see some We got some videos, photos. They're already sharing stuff, right? Let's read this real quick. Based on the, should I do my Trump impression? No. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. And then there's more. I'm not reading all that. Oh, okay. Well, this actually, we may need to read this because this is kind of important. All right, real quick. Directive. It says, in response to President Donald J. Trump's directive for transparency on U.S. government information regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena, the Department of War, with support from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, is overseeing government-wide efforts to expeditiously find, review, identify, declassify, and publicly release unresolved UAP-related records and historical documents in the federal government's possession. This is an unprecedented historic undertaking that requires coordination between dozens of agencies and the review of tens of millions of records, many existing only on paper, spanning many decades. Given the scope of this task, the Department of War will be releasing new materials on a rolling basis as they are discovered and declassified, with tranches posted every few weeks. Okay, so they're coming every few weeks. The materials archived here are unresolved cases, meaning the government is unable to make a definitive determination on the nature of the observed phenomena. This can occur for a variety of reasons, including a lack of sufficient data, and the Department of War welcomes the application of private sector analysis, information, and expertise. DOW will continue to conduct separate reporting on resolved UAP cases as mandated by statute. Under this administration, we will pursue the truth and share our findings with the American people. All right. So, booyah. And look, it says 162 files. I'm just seeing FBI, 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 FBI. Holy schmeigel. So, okay. Let me take a sip of some coffee here, y'all. Okay. Yowzers. All right. So, we're going to take a look at some of this stuff, but real quick, hang with me. Fox News did a quick little segment and they shared a few different videos. So I'm going to share that real quick first. Let's start there. Bear with me. All right, let's go, y'all.
So a White House official left this hard drive on my desk overnight. You can see on it, it says AARO Files Copy 203. That is the All Domain Resolution Office, Copy 203. This is the first big batch of UFO disclosure ordered by President Trump. Some of the clips and videos on there have popped up different places before. Some of them have not. And we have been going through this all morning and overnight to try to put together some of the best videos so we can all look at this together. This is a world exclusive right here. So let's go to the first clip over the skies of the United Arab Emirates in June 2024. An inverted teardrop with a vertically linear trailing mass, as described by the War Department, suspended below. The War Department cannot say for sure what this is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. The next video, over the skies of Iraq, December 2022, moving bottom left to top right of the field of view. All CENTCOM gets from this is an area of contrast. That's what they describe it as. It is officially still listed as an unresolved UAP report. Next video, over the skies of Greece, October 2023. What is described as a small and circular UAP flying near the surface of the ocean towards land. CENTCOM can't tell us what it is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report.
Okay. Got to get my glasses on, y'all, so I can see correctly here. All right. All right, let's get out of that. And let's go back to the main page. Now, look, I have not looked through this at all. I haven't had time. Hey, I was kind of busy when it popped off, and I just said, you know what, let's go live and let's look at it together. All right. Let's see here. So what I'm seeing is, this is, I don't know. This is going to take a little bit for everyone to go through and see what they can find. I'm just going to kind of tell you what kind of, type. Okay. So let's do it by type. Let's look at videos first. Okay, let's see if I can, let's go to the end. Is that where the videos are? Yes. Okay, this is where the videos are, y'all. Let's just take a look at those first. Those will be the easiest. All right, this is, shit, oh shit. So this says, the Department of Army submitted a report of an unidentified anomalous phenomenon to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, consisting of 1 minute and 49 seconds of video from an infrared sensor aboard a U.S. military platform in 2026. So this is recent. The reporter did not provide any oral or written description of the observation. Okay. This says date taken January 1st, 2026. Interesting. Let's take a look. Okay, is it that thing that just flew by? Yeah, I guess it is. They're tracking it. Okay, a couple lights. Huh. Without anything else in the image, it's hard to like get a reference for what that is. It kind of looks like the back of a F-16 or something, right? Like the afterburners. But then again, what do I know? You see, it's tilting, like it's flying away. But why wouldn't they know that? Why would they consider this unresolved if that's what it was? No sound on this. So if you're wondering, what's going on, there is no sound. What do y'all think? Put in the comments. Clearly some deeper analysis is going to be needed for this. So this is just initial looking at it, right? Like we're just watching it. Just raw analysis here. Again, to me, it looks like the back of a plane, right? With the two afterburners, but I don't know. And the way it's kind of tilting, right? Like it's flying away. Again, why would they not know that? But it is sort of two balls of light, but they seem connected, right? Like they're part of the same thing. All right, that was it. I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly. All right, let's just watch them. Was that the okay? All right, so the United States Indo-Pacific Command submitted a report, 1 minute 39 seconds, from an infrared sensor aboard a U.S. military platform in 2024. All right. Oh, so you can see some windmills underneath there. So I'm guessing that's that little dot. It looks like the camera's tilted this way. Or I guess I'm backwards on my camera. Right, and it's like it's this way. It's tilting. All right. Interesting. What the fuck is that? See, this is why points of reference. Dude, that thing is just flying through this stuff. Is that in the ocean? I think those are in the ocean. It's not a camera artifact. It's something there. Dude, that one is weird. I have to admit, that is a strange one. And now it's just stopping. Moving back. Huh. You know, I got to admit, even I'm like, what the hell is that? Yeah, that seems like those are, someone put offshore wind farm. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know. That one is weird, man. Y'all know me. I'm Mr. Skeptical. That one's odd. I got to admit that one is odd because that's not a safe place to be flying through, right? Could that be a drone? I guess. That's how drones would move. Um, it's hard to tell. But that is a weird one. I am reading the descriptions, y'all. I read out the description. There isn't more on it, right? They're not putting anything. The reporter did not provide any oral written description of the observation. There is nothing, right? I'm just telling you the date and kind of the platform. That there's no other information here. So there's not anything else to give. Now this says it was taken January 1st, 2024. That can't be right. They're putting the date taken. The other one was January 1st, 2026. That something's off with that. So that's not right. That information is not right. I guess just the year is right, but we just don't know the exact date. So they're trying to redact some of this information and whatever. But I have to admit that one was interesting. We got a lot of videos, y'all. All right, so this is Japan. Let's keep going. I'm just going to fly through these. Let's go. 2-minute video, 2023. That's all the information we're going to have, y'all. We're not going to have, there's nothing else with this stuff. So let's not waste time. Let's just go through the videos. I see 3 objects. Do y'all see that? It's like 3. It looks like one object with 3 light points or hot points or whatever. So basically what they're saying is they film this, then they don't know what it is. I don't know what that is either. It's hard to tell if the object is moving or that thing is trying to track it. It seems like that thing's trying to track it. Like it's not really, I'm not saying it's not moving, but it's not moving in the way that it's perceived to be moving on the screen. Right? And with all the details of the video being redacted, you can't really tell. But that's my guess, just based on how erratic that is. Now, if we come to find out that thing is moving erratically like that, yeah, that's interesting. We don't know the distance at which they're filming this. There's just so much left out. It's really hard to make a determination without a lot of this information. What type of platform, so we know what we're seeing. And this is what I mean by these are going to be initial observations that people are going to make. It's going to take a while to go through all this and see some video and image analysts kind of break it down and maybe give us some more information. I mean, we need experts to look at this stuff. I am not an expert. Although there will be a few of you in the chat who will claim to be experts on this. More power to you. This says East China Sea. Interesting. This is from 2024. It says a sensor focuses on an area of contrast that resembles a football-shaped body with 3 radial projections. 1 oriented vertically and 2 oriented downward at a 45-degree angle relative to the major axis of the main mass. Okay, so 2024. Dude, what in the F? It's like, it looks like a flag waving in the wind. That's 9 seconds. Let's watch that again. That is weird. Look at the way it moves. Right? It's like a blob. It's like a plasma something. All right. That's I want more information on this one. This is one of those ones where some more information would be nice. Wow. Okay. Interesting. That is an interesting one. All right, that one's only 9 seconds. Let's keep going because there's a lot to go through. All right, this is from 2020. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Let's just watch it. There doesn't seem to be anything too extraordinary there. Yeah, it's so hard to see with all the little things on it. You know what I mean? Dude, this looks like a 1990s video game. So something is flying through the sky. Here we go. Let's get a little closer. Some sort of light. And it looks like there's another light next to it of some sort. Look at that. 2 connected. It's just, what the hell is that? It's so hard to tell. Seems like it's getting closer to the thing that's filming it. Whoa. Okay. Interesting. It almost seemed like that thing was in the water or something, right? I don't know. That one's interesting. So that's from the Middle East, 2020. All right, Arabian Gulf. This is also from the Middle East. This is 5 minutes, y'all. Okay, so we'll this one's got some audio, but seems like it's just static, so I'll bring it down. Oh. No, they're talking. Someone. 3212. I'm gonna bring the audio up on that. I'm gonna mute my mic, y'all. See something in the middle there, right? Little dot. The people don't seem to be responding to it, at least not yet. But we do know this is over the water. We just saw that big ship. Looks like they just inverted from white hot to the other way around. I don't know. So I wish I knew more about these systems. So they're tracking this thing going over the water. Almost seems like they're right above it, looking down straight at it. And it's tough to tell if the water's moving, they're standing still, the thing's not actually moving very much, but just the water's moving. That's a big wave. It does seem like they're moving with it. I think. I mean, what we're looking for is some sort of extraordinary movement. So right now, impossible to be like, that's an alien spaceship. You know what I mean? It feels like it's moving in an erratic, not erratic, but just, you know, just a random pattern. Again, I haven't seen any sort of physics breaking movement. Looks like they might try to zoom in on this thing. I don't hear them talking about it, right? They were talking at the beginning. Are they trying to lock in on it? Okay, it just went out of screen. It's coming back. It just jump cut. There was just a jump cut right there, y'all. Now they're at a different angle, it seems like. So it seemed like they just stopped and that thing just flew away. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, that's the longest one we've seen so far. All right, let's keep going. All right, I'm getting lost. Was that, which one did I need to pay attention to which ones I'm showing here. So this one says Djibouti. Love saying that. Africa, 2025. Oh shit, look at this angle. This is only 11 seconds, y'all. Djibouti, Africa. It's like underneath some sort of a drone or plane. Did y'all see anything? Let me watch that again. I did not see. Let me pay attention here. Am I crazy? I don't. One more time. I don't see anything. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. So at the bottom of the screen, okay, you see what looks like it to be a river or something at the bottom of the screen? I wish my pointer would show up. But at the bottom of the screen, follow that little river and you'll see something really tiny fly by. Pay attention there. Bottom of the screen. See it? You see it? You saw that, right? That's pretty fast moving. Now, what I can't tell from that is, are they repeating that same thing, or are those multiple, because it's jump cutted, or it's just repeating the same 2-3 second loop? That's hard to tell. Right? That's hard to tell, but that's one to keep an eye on. That's kind of interesting because that thing's moving fast, whatever it is. That don't think that's a bird or a balloon or drone or something. That's fast. All right, that's one to. So remember, Djibouti. We got to keep Djibouti in mind. All right, let's keep going. We got more. We got more, y'all. All right, this is from the Middle East, 2020 as well. Let's keep going. Oh, this is a long one. This is about 5 minutes, y'all. No sound. I see a little object there. You see that little dot kind of in the bottom, moving its way up. There's a blink. I can't tell if it's that thing moving at the top. See? Is it that thing kind of barely, not the light that you see. There's a light that you see. I don't think that's it. Oh, it's kind of blinking. There, you can see something moving. Well, that was clearly moving. All right, so they're following this thing. They see it. They see it. They're trying to track it. That's what it looks like to me. They're trying to track this thing over the water. That blinking light is weird. Feel like a pixel or something. I mean, I'm nothing. That blinking light moves with the thing, so there we go. That's it. I think that's. Hmm. Oh, those might be clouds. Or, yeah, those are clouds. Okay. So this thing's pretty high up, flying, whatever this platform is. They're spinning around. Interesting, they're moving the redacted like that. Did you see that? You see that redaction box at the top? It's almost like something came into frame they didn't want you to see. That was interesting. A base, maybe? I really just don't even know what the thing is that we're. I think the phenomena is just whoever recorded this. There's a dot on the screen. I'm pretty sure that's not it. That seems like it's part of the platform or something because it moves, doesn't move. Just it moves everywhere with this thing. And those are clouds in the back. You see sort of white. Is that it? That little black thing that just flew by? That... Huh. I just don't see anything in this one. Maybe I've missed it. Whoa. That's a ship. That's a ship down there. Okay, so they're over the water. Guess those are more ships out on the water. That's what that looks like. They're zooming in on those ships. Okay, yep. Looking at some ships. Okay. It's a ship moving in the water. What what the hell? All right, that was, I don't know. We're not watching that again, but that's 5 minutes. I'm not going to waste my time. So maybe hopefully someone will find the thing in that one. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Next one. All right, so this is 2020 Middle East. All right, here we go. I see something there. Seems like all of these are over the water, which is interesting. Well, not all of them, but the majority that we've seen. All right. So we got some object moving fast over the water. So it reminds me of the Go Fast. But again, without being closer up, it's really hard to tell. I mean, at this point, it just looks like a ball of light, right? Like an orb flying over the water. And it's hard to determine the speed. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. All right. Let's go here. All right, so let's see here. Okay, this says the original reporter digitally altered the imagery by pausing the video playback and adding a white line encircling an area of interest at timestamp 10 seconds, annotated with the phrase UI small thermal signature. Arrow did not edit the originally reported material, and this media is presented as received. So something to pay attention to. This is 1 minute, 4 seconds. So it says it's coming at 10 seconds. Okay, I see that thing there. I see a little thing. Okay, so that they're saying they yeah, well, of course. I mean, that's not really exciting, is it? Again, not on any of these videos have I seen anything performing extraordinary, movements. There's been nothing with sort of physics breaking movements. Not one of these videos. I think the best one we saw so far was the wind farm one. That one's definitely zipping around. What's it doing? I don't know, but that was the most interesting one so far that I can think of. Shit, I kind of lost where I'm at here. I need to pay attention to the numbers. Is that the one we just saw? Yes. Okay. This is 5 seconds. A faint area of contrast enters the sensor field of view from the bottom half of the right edge of the screen. All right. Proceeds from right to left across the corner of the frame and exits the scene from near the center of the bottom edge of the screen. All right. Let's see what we got here. It's 5 seconds, y'all. Wow, that is nothing. So again, bottom right of the screen, you can see it move. It almost looks like it moves across the water. Pay attention. Play it again. You definitely see something zip the bottom right of the frame. All right, that's an interesting one too. That one's kind of interesting. What is that? What is that? That's from 2020, Middle East. So you notice there's a lot of Middle East 2020, So this one's a little bit older. This is from 2013. Also from the Middle East. Look at that. Whoa. You see that? Let me pause it there. What does that remind you of? You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a picture that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp released. I don't know how long ago it was, over a year ago. You remember that? It was supposed to be over a military base in Texas. It looked just like that. In fact, this may be the video from which that's from, but this says Middle East. And Jeremy and George had said it was from Texas. Now, they could have said that to fool people, right? And if you really saw the video, you would know. But this looks identical to that. Identical to that. All right, let's keep watching. I mean, that's weird looking. Now you have to wonder, well, you see like a plume behind it. See like that there's that plume moving, like it's riding in the air. You could see the plume or whatever that is. But that is a weird thing. I mean, that's just a man-made object. That is weird. What kind of plume would leave that? Could that be just a drone? But you don't know why it looks like that, right? Does it have some sort of blocking technology that makes it look like that? Because it does look like this, fucking Star of David, the star you put on top of a Christmas tree, like floating around. What's that thing in the back? It was like a cupped, almost looked like one of those radar things. You see that in the back? Doesn't it look like one of those radar things? It's spinning around. That's what it is. That's what I think that is. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Again, without more information, it's just hard to determine, right? And the way it's shaped makes it seem like that's a byproduct of light reflection to the lens or something along those lines, the way it's shaped. So I don't know. That's super interesting. Again, without more information, it's tough to tell. And when they say unresolved, in what way? How much investigation did they do into each of these videos to leave it unresolved? Does that make sense? Was it just they were captured and then, well, we don't know what it is, but they didn't spend any time trying to figure it out? Had they spent some time, they could have resolved these, right? Is this just low tier stuff that doesn't mean anything and they're just giving us crumbs? These are simple things that are explained if you really look into it. Or were they, you know, a big deal when they were recorded and they're just like, oh, we don't know what it is, you know? Does that make sense? Like, that really matters, how much investigation went into each of these videos to try to determine, you know, what they are. All right, let's keep going because there's more. I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is cool. You know, we haven't gotten this many videos like this and I don't know of ever. So at the end of the day, it's data, something to look at. There have been a couple interesting ones, you know, worth looking into. And they said they're going to keep releasing more. All right, we got more videos, so let's just keep going. This says it's from 2013 as well. Or is this the one I just played? No, it's not. Is this the one I just played? Okay, this is the one. That's the one I just played. All right. Let's go to the next page. Dude, we got way more videos. There are a lot here. All right, so let's keep going. This is 9 seconds, 2020, Middle East. Got a boat. And you see a thing fly by it. I mean, that one's kind of interesting, right? The boat, you can clearly see a reference of speed, size from this video. That's why I like this one. And then you see something move pretty quick past it. Could that be drone? Yeah, it still could be a drone, but I don't know. That one's an interesting one. Let's watch that one more time, just because it's 9 seconds. To the left there, right? I don't know. Arrow, you got some explaining to do. Okay, let's keep going. This is May. Well, it says May 2020. That's interesting. They're putting a date with like a month with it. They haven't done that. Some of these above it are also doing the same thing. So May 2020, Middle East. An accompanying Ranger Fuller report, DOW UAP D38, described the UAP as a solid white object making erratic movements above the water. What does that sound like? The Tic Tac. Let's keep going. So this looks like some sort of a platform. You can almost see like a helicopter landing pad above that on the top there. Dude, there's so much redacted on this. Okay, so I guess that's the object. Without any reference point, it's hard to tell if that's erratic, right? Considering, I guess it is. I mean, it's just a dot, right? Like, what do I do with this? All that other information that's on the screen that's redacted would really help us out to help determine positioning, speed, right? A lot of these things. Well, I could hear something. Could hear something in that video, but I couldn't pick up what they were saying. I'm trying to lock on it. Goes wide. Hmm. 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 Okay. All right. This is 2023. Greece. Describe the UAP as small and circular, flying near the surface of the ocean toward land. All right, we can see it there. Well, that's moving pretty fast. That's pretty fast. That wide out and it's moving like that. That means that's moving pretty fast. And I get, again, it's interesting that they wouldn't know what that is. You figure if it's just a regular drone, they have footage like this. They've done that multiple times, and they would just be like, "Yeah, that's a drone. We filmed that a bazillion times. That's what it looks like." So that is interesting to me, nonetheless. Yeah, I'm not saying it's an alien spaceship. Just saying, I don't know. All right, another one from Greece, October 2023. So, okay, so this says describe the UAP as flying near the surface of the ocean and making multiple 90-degree turns at approximately 80 miles per hour. Okay. Now it's getting interesting. Oh, I see what they mean. Wow. Wait, what is that little fucker? That little thing. They're saying it's making 90-degree turns at 80 miles an hour. There's no drones doing that. Dude, that is super interesting. Well, they got it tracked. Just moving kind of steady right now. All right, this is also in Greece. Hmm. So it's just in cruise control at this point. Seems like all the action's at the beginning of that video. It's just not doing anything right now. Whoa. What is that? What does that mean? I don't know what that is or what that means. Oh, it's moving. Oh, I might have lost it. Dude, did that thing just go in the water? It's like they lost it. Huh. All right, I admit that's a weird one. That is a weird one. That one needs more investigation. That's one of those ones that needs more investigation. All right, this says Syria, October 2024. It seems like we're getting more information on these. Okay, so this says describe the UAP as consisting of a misshapen and uneven ball of white light. Okay. And reported that a light glare halo effect occurred at the top of the FMV feed. Now this is 5 seconds. Is it that red blob? What the fuck? Okay. Let's watch that again. Wait, what the I mean, I just don't even know what to make of that. Dude, that is right? That is weird. It almost seems like film. You know, you ever seen old film reels where it's kind of burnt a little weird? But the report says a misshapen and uneven ball of white light, and it had a light glare halo effect. But did that seem like a ball of light? Is this the right description for this video? Well, let's watch it. Is it that red thing? Or is there something else that I'm missing on the screen? Because I guess that's it. Let me read more here. 2 semi-transparent, irregularly shaped orange areas overlay the background imagery. Okay. 2 semi-transparent, irregularly shaped orange areas. Huh. That's a weird one. That is a weird one. All right, same month, Syria, October 2024. Okay, it's the same thing. We're seeing misshapen and uneven ball of white light. I think that other description didn't go with that video. That because this has the exact same description, or it's another angle, or it's another part of that video. This says an area of irregular color and brightness, mainly consisting of white and red highlights, appear near the center of the top edge of the sensor display. The area extends to a width of approximately 1/3 of the horizontal frame, with a vertical area comprising approximately 1/6 of the viewing area. Overall, its shape is best described as a horizontally oriented half oval bisected along its major axis. Good Lord, can you just put that in layman's terms for us? Like, is it a UFO or not? Like all this technical talk. All right, let's do this. Okay, see it at the top of the screen? You see that? Watch that again. Dude, that looks weird. I admit. You know what I mean? It looks like some force field going over, you know. Again, the fact that it almost seems like if that was a regular anomaly that occurs with those systems, that they would know that, right? So it would make it easier, right? So that seems weird. What is that? Yeah, someone saying sun glare, that's totally possible. But again, wouldn't that have happened before and they would be able to determine that pretty easily? But it does seem like something like that, like some sort of a lens flare of sorts. That is possible completely. It's definitely weird, but it could be just a lens flare of some sort. All right, let's keep going. Syria. Okay, we got another one in Syria. This is another 5-second one. Again, the same sort of description, right? Misshapen, an uneven ball of white light. I don't know. So this says an indistinctly shaped multicolored area moves from the right to left across the top edge of the sensor display within the first second of the video. So pay attention. This is only 5 seconds long. It's going to happen right away. Dude, that's totally, you know what that seems like? Let's watch it again. Look at that. You know what that seems like? Someone pointing a laser at it. Right? Seems like someone from the ground pointing a laser at this thing. Watch it again. You see that? Top right to top left. Yeah, that seems like just a laser being pointed at it. But, what do I know? I'm not an expert. All right, we're moving into, this says United Arab Emirates, June 2024. It says, describe the UAP as consisting of an object with a vertical pole or bar attached to the bottom of the object. The observer also reported that the UAP may instead be a reflection from an object in the water. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. Right? Something to keep in mind. Reflections happen. Sound like Trump. Reflections happen. And you know what that looks like? I paused it for a second, but you know what that looks? That looks like the jellyfish video. Let's keep going. I mean, it literally looks like a balloon with string attached. If it was a reflection, would the system be picking it up and trying to track it? That seems odd. Why would he think that's a reflection of something coming off the water? That's not what that looks like. That looks like an object, but I don't know. That's an interesting one. That one they played on Fox News too. So it seems like people were focused on this one in particular. Okay, I think you're going to see this video a lot online. And again, this is from it says June 2024, filmed in United Arab Emirates. All right. Now, just remember, the official report says that the UAP may just be a reflection from an object in the water, right? But they're saying the UAP is consisting of an object with a vertical pole or bar attached. So they're not saying like a string, they're saying a pole or a bar down below, which would also be weird. Okay. It says it visually resembling an inverted teardrop. Interesting. All right. That's one to keep in mind. All right, let's move on. Another one in Greece from January of 2024, it says. This one is the UAP is described as diamond shaped and moving at approximately 434 knots. That is fast. The observer also reported that the UAP was only detectable via shortwave infrared sensor. The screen is split into two viewing areas for the first 10 seconds of the video, with the right side displaying electro-optical footage and the left side displaying the shortwave infrared. All right. This is a minute long. Just watch it. Okay, I see the object. There it is. Oh. That looks like the same object from the other thing, right? With the pole underneath. It looks the exact same. Doesn't it? I mean, diamond shaped. It looks just like the object from the other video. So I don't know if that other one was a reflection. But it's only being picked up in shortwave infrared. And I don't know the distinction, what that means. Okay. All right. All right. So again, they're saying that object was only visible in shortwave infrared. And again, I don't really know the difference versus electro-optical footage. Okay. So that was in Greece, that one. And the other one was United Arab Emirates, right? But that looked like the exact same object to me. All right, this one's 5 minutes. You know what? I got to take a bathroom break. So let's do this. I'm going to play this video and I'll be back. So let me read this real quick. Mentioned it just says a UAP was observed during the mission. That's interesting. So they were on a mission, seems like, and they were able to film this thing. Now there's some details of timestamp of what happens, but let's just watch it. Again, this is United Arab Emirates, October 2023. See if you can spot it. What did I miss here? Did we see anything? You know what? I'm going to remove the comments from the video just for now. We'll bring those comments back up later. Oh, I see it. There it is. So they're looking at this going, what is this, I guess, during the mission? I mean, that is the tiniest little dot. Hmm. You know what? It would be great to hear the observers' audio, right? Like over the radio. Like, what are they saying about this? God, that would add so much context and help here. Are they freaking out over this? Okay, looking at the background, it looks like that object is moving and they're following it. I can't tell if that's desert or water. It looks like water. Or is that desert? Kind of looks like desert. Yeah, that looks like desert to me. All right, just kind of turned and oh, come on, stay with it. Damn, okay. It looks like that thing's hauling ass. Am I right? That looks like desert to me, not the water. Or at least terrain, land. I mean, it is just booking, just straight on. And so they're basically saying they don't know what this is. You would think if it was some sort of alien craft, like it would be popping in and out. Like, why would it move? Why would it take this sort of terrestrial path, right? Why would it move like that? Like, why wouldn't it pop in and out where it needs to go if they say that's how it moves, right? I don't know. Very, very interesting. Nonetheless, it's more interesting the fact that they just don't know what it is, right? But again, how much investigation did they do into it to figure that out or to not figure it out, right? Was it just thrown on a pile and they just didn't really care? I think that matters. All right, I think we're at the top here. Let me see. Was that the last one? No, that okay. All right, that was the last one on this page. Let's go to the next page. Oh, damn, we got more vids. Okay, so we got six more videos. Let's keep going. October 2023, United Arab Emirates. This is 44 seconds long. It says a UAP was observed during the mission. So same scenario here. Okay, that thing's giving off a weird little glare, isn't it? It looks like it's got some things coming off the end of it. Like it doesn't look spherical. I mean, it looks like a little mini plane, if I'm being honest. It looks like Superman flying. Does that not does that not look like super like you can see a cape flying behind? Like, is that Superman? Huh. Yeah, that one was interesting. Let's see that one again real quick. Right, that looks like a plane right there. When I pause it right there, that looks like a little mini plane. But as it flies, it kind of looks like a little man with a cape. Huh. All right. All right. This is Iraq, December 2022. It says, describe the UAP as flying west to east. So this is over the city, over a city. Don't know where in Iraq. You can see cars, you can see people, buildings. This looks like straight out of Black Hawk Down here. 10 seconds. All right, you can see the object. Bottom left, moving across to the right. They played this on Fox News too. Let's watch that again. So pay attention to the bottom left of the screen. It's going to move diagonally up to the right. So this thing, they don't know what that is. Like, again, to play the believer side of things and not just the skeptical, let's play the believer side of things. If they've captured drones on platforms like this multiple times, wouldn't they know that's just a drone? Right? Wouldn't they just see like, oh yeah, we've seen that a bazillion times. We know that that's a drone. Even a bird. You would think they would just know that. They've seen it so many times. That's what I don't understand. That's what I can't figure out there. Right? So that's what's interesting. I don't know. You know, wouldn't they have captured drones, birds, balloons, all kinds of things on these platforms multiple times and would be able to tell, yeah, that's just the same, right? Same thing. So that's weird. I don't know. But again, without more information, it's really hard to determine anything. We're basically just going off, the government has unresolved these cases, right? They're just unresolved. They don't know what it is. And they're just saying UAP because they don't know what it is. But again, how much investigation did they do into this? All right, let's keep going. All right, this is Syria, July 2022. All right, and the report says, describe the UAP as moving from north to south. This is 14 seconds long. North to south. Okay, you saw that? Let's here, I'll play it again so you can see it. So, okay, so look at the top right of the screen. Okay, the top right. It'll move from the right side of the screen to the top right of the screen. So sort of diagonally. It's fast. It just zips by. Right? Just zips by right there. Let's watch it again. Oh, where was it? Zip. That seems like it's really close to the platform filming it, right? I remember using night vision goggles when I was out filming my psionics documentary, and things that move near, that's what that looked like. Looked like a bug. I'm not saying that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not a professional image analyst. I'm just saying that seemed like something close to the platform, which makes it seem larger than it actually is. And the weird streak that it had to it, it lines up identically with things that I've seen like that. Again, don't know. Wouldn't people studying this know that as well? You would think. How much benefit of the doubt and how much credit should we give the government for determining these things? Again, I'm going to keep repeating it. Until you know how much investigation they did into each of these videos, it's really hard to determine how serious to take it, right? If I told you that one guy looked at this for 5 seconds and then put it on a pile of UAP versus I told you there was a 100-man team that studied this video for 3 years and couldn't figure out what it was, doesn't that give it more weight? But see, you don't know any of that information. So it's too hard to tell. I wish that came with this information. We studied it for X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. This is how many people looked at it. We couldn't determine these organizations looked at it, blah, 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 right? Like some sort of, how when you get deliveries, right? And it tells you, oh, it's been dropped off here and then sent here and then this, and then it's, you know, being picked up and now it's going through customs and now it's, you know, being out for delivery. And, you know, it would be great to get a timeline like that of these videos, right? So we could know what it is. All right, let's see here. What was that? I think that was Syria. All right, let's go Iraq. So this says, this is Iraq, May 2022. And it says, describe the UAP as a probable Su-27/35. Whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Let's quickly Google that real quick. Okay, that's a type of fighter jet. It's a type of fighter jet, is what it's saying. Interesting. So they're saying it's a UAP, but they're saying probably it's a type of fighter jet. All right, so if you Google that, you'll find the same thing I did. Okay. I like that. Hey, this is what we think it is. I wish that all of them had that. All right, this is 10 seconds. Let's go. I guess it's that object in the middle there, right? You see it? That's a fighter jet? That's a weird looking fighter jet. I mean, it's barely moving. Right? Look in the middle of the screen. You can see like a little thing there. Right? It's been nothing. It's just barely nothing, y'all. They think that's a fighter jet? Okay. All right. Middle East, May 2022. Describe the observation as a possible missile moving across the field of view. The report also described 4 other objects not depicted in the video as possible birds. Okay. This is 5 seconds, y'all. Here we go. I guess pay attention. Okay. So that thing that flew by, they're saying is potentially a missile. Let's see if can I pause it? There we go. Pausing it, y'all. I mean, that's a cigar-shaped craft moving, right? I mean, that looks like a missile. And it does have a plume behind it. Notice that? So that would check with a missile. If it is. All right. And they left that unresolved. Guys, is that a missile? I don't know. Again, wouldn't they have just more videos of like that of missiles to be able to really determine that? Let's keep going. All right, this is the last video. No, there's one more video after this. That's from NASA. The last video I'm gonna play is from NASA, y'all, from low Earth orbit. Let's go. All right, so this is oh no, this is the last one. So again, last video, low Earth orbit, NASA. Let's see what we got. 6 minutes. Okay. All right. Oh, this is going to be a good one here. All right. So this says the audio recording contains air-to-ground communications and the NASA Public Affairs audio feed with commentary recorded during the flight of the Gemini 7 mission. In this excerpted, why can't I read that? In this excerpted segment of audio, astronaut Frank Borman reports to NASA Mission Control in Houston his sighting of an unidentified object, which he referred to as a bogey. This sighting occurred on December 5th, 1965. The dialogue includes Borman's initial report, as well as additional comments by astronaut Jim Lovell, Borman's fellow crew member. All right, let's take a look, y'all. This is pretty cool.
Gemini Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center in Building 6. Since then, we have dubbed the tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Gemini 7 here, Houston on your 8.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
Okay, we have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
And we also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
And we have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
Try the turbine, or further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
7, this is, Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun against a black background, and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's about at my 2 o'clock position.
Does that mean it's ahead of you?
It's affirmative. Ahead of us, 2 o'clock, slowly tumbling.
Roger.
OS 91.
I don't hear anything either. Let's keep listening.
Oh, Fox 91. Oh, Fox 1. 91, say again.
Gemini Control here again. The reference in that conversation to the third unidentified object, of course, the third object was bogey. There were several references to the bogey. This is the unidentified object in addition to particles which appear to be headed in a polar orbit, you heard Frank Borman say, plus Jim Lovell discussing the booster. It was Borman who reported sighting the bogey. This is Gemini Control Houston at 4 hours, 24 minutes into the flight.
Okay, I think that's it. That's it. Okay. Hang on. All right, so that's the last. That's the last of the videos. But let's take a look at some images. I mean, PDFs are just going to be so hard to go through on this thing, and there's a lot of PDFs, which is fine. All right, FBI photo A1. I don't know what we're looking at here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so just that little thing. All right, consisting of a still image derived from a U.S. government system. The date and location of the event have not been provided. The original imagery was altered with redactions before being submitted to Aero. An accompanying mission report was not provided. They were unable to positively identify the UAP. Well, yeah. It says a grainy texture with a central crosshair reticle. A small, dark, and slightly irregular object is visible just below and to the right of the center reticle. Yes, we can see it. Well, I just love saying reticle. Okay, so a dot. Fucking dot. Another dot. All right. Again, we don't get any details. It just says FBI photo A1, A2. This is A2. Dark circular object. This is it says appearance suggesting a varied landscape or surface. All right. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. So it seems like these are just still images of the same object, right? Sort of moving across the screen. Why can't they just release this video? All right. Huh. No, I guess they switched on the platform, or a bright specular highlight is visible. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's the same one. All right. That's okay. So this is from NASA, an image, Apollo 12, 1969. Interesting. So they're zooming in on it. They're giving you a zoom in the very back, right? Now, if you don't think we landed on the moon, then you think these photos are fake. Features a highlighted area of interest slightly to the right, above the horizon, in which unidentified phenomena are visible. Well, that's interesting that they pointed this out, right, themselves. So they're finding that phenomena interesting there. That's interesting to me. This photo, that is interesting that they would think that's weird that would end up in the image, right? Interesting. So they're seeing some interesting dots that they just like, what is that? Right? That's interesting to me. These are probably the most interesting pictures here. Features two highlighted, labeled Area 1 and Area 2, slightly to the right. Modified to assist viewers in identifying specific areas of interest. Okay. Well, I got to admit, I find these very interesting. Just considering they're on the moon And NASA doesn't even know what those things are. So when they saw it, they're like, what is that? And remember, this would be with film, not with anything digital, right? Apollo 12, 1969. So there's only a few more images. These are all from Apollo missions. Again, Apollo 12, 1969. This bright light, they just don't know what that is. That to me is interesting. That to me is very interesting. I think this may be the most interesting thing I've seen so far on this. Huh. Okay. Again, this is from Apollo 12, 1969. Just the fact that they're pointing out these lights as being weird, right? That they're saying they can't explain why it would be there. That is interesting. Dude, were we being observed on the moon? Oh, shit. So this picture has 5 areas of interest. Unidentified phenomena are visible. So they're just like, they just don't know what that is. Right? So the little boxes are where it is, and then the bigger boxes are just zoomed in on it. Now, I have to admit, area 4, I don't really see much. But area 5, that is weird. That is weird. Okay. Oh, that's the same. Okay. Now, this is from Apollo 17, 1972. Get the fuck out of here, y'all. 3 dots. A triangle. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. I'm getting excited here. The Department of War has opened a case to investigate the accompanying NASA photograph from the Apollo 17 mission taken December 1972. The image contains 3 dots in a triangular formation in the lower right quadrant of the lunar sky that is clearly visible upon magnification of the image. While this photo has been previously released and discussed by keen observers, there is no consensus about the nature of the anomaly. New preliminary U.S. government analysis suggests the image feature is potentially the result of a physical object in the scene. What? Dude, that is huge, y'all. That is the biggest thing I've seen so far, right here. This thing right here. And it happens to be the very last photo we look at. Okay, let me keep reading. Additionally, as part of this investigation, the government has obtained the original film from the Apollo 17 mission, and the results of the full NASA and DOW analysis will be released when completed. That's pretty big, y'all. That is pretty interesting. That is very, 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 very interesting. Okay. Huh. Wow. All right. I gotta admit, of everything we've looked at, those last 2 are the most interesting to me. And especially that last one. All right, you know what y'all are saying? You know what? Let's hang on. Let me do something. Stay with me. Let's try something real quick. Hang on. There, that's a better look at it. So they're saying they did an analysis of this, and they're saying that's a physical object there, they think, right? In space, 3 dots. What does that remind you of? Again, I'm the most skeptical in this community. That's what I'm known for. That is interesting. I have to admit, that is super strange and interesting. It's not they don't think it's a camera artifact or something from the film or anything like that. They think it's an actual object there. What? And so they're saying they're going to do more investigation on this and then release that, right? So they're saying they haven't done that yet. But I have to admit, that's interesting to me. Gonna pin that. Gonna pin that. Wow. Okay. Now, real quick. Hang on. Real quick. Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, we're not going to look through all the PDFs and any of that stuff. I just want to see what they're kind of releasing, right? I'm just curious what they're releasing exactly. All right, hang on. Let's take a look at one of these PDFs. So again, I'm just curious. All right, so this is just one PDF, y'all. 184 pages. And let me be honest, this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. Look at that image. It's going to take a long time to go through all this, y'all. This is, in a way, you know, I may get some hate for this, but in a way, it's kind of good they're releasing it little by little. So it gives us time to go through each batch, you know, instead of it just all getting lost. Right. So let's just flip through this one. I don't know what this is about. Like, why are they including this? Flying Saucers Club of America. Interesting. So that's dated 1966. Just literally putting everything. Hoover, FBI director, dear sir, I'm a member of NICAP and I'm very much interested in UFO, flying saucers. Several weeks ago, a fellow employee received a letter from Arizona with a stamp on the back. Being interested in UFOs, I asked for the stamp and sent $3 for the 12 issues of AFSCA. Having received and read my first issue, I feel it isn't just what it appears on the surface. I can't say just why, but with my limited idea of how communists operate, it strikes me it is backed by them. My reason for writing this is I consider myself a true American. I'm told my ancestors, okay, Indian squaw, okay, I'm proud of it. All right, Communist Party. Interesting. So, oh my God, there's just so much to go through. I mean, they're putting the envelope. Okay, Flying Saucer Convention. Amalgamated Flying Saucer Clubs of America. Dude, that picture looks so fake. Look at this. So they were having flying saucer conventions back in 1966, Reno, Nevada. I mean, this is still cool. For me, this is really cool. It's just the history of it, right? Wow. Look at this. Tracked by radar. The London Free Press. UFO sighted over wide section of district. 16s tell of chase by buzzing lighted UFOs. That's from the Denver Post. So they're just, you know, you got Montreal Gazette. This is cool. Wow. Wow. Very interesting. Look at this. 100 watch UFO dislike object hovers, rises for 2 hours east of Kettle Point, London, Ontario. But these images are I mean, look how fake that looks, y'all. Those images look so fake. New saucer photos. It says these remarkable photos of flying saucers were taken by Dr. Daniel Fry, president of Understanding Inc. in Oregon, Merlin, Oregon. Wow. It's just showing you all the coverage there's been for so long. Let me look. So there's files, dates, letters. Again, y'all, this is just the very first PDF that you know how long it's going to take to go through all this? Holy shnikes, y'all. All right. I mean, we're just not going through all that on this. I'm going to have to do a separate video after a few days, try to break through all of this, right? And break it down. Let's just kind of hang out for a bit, and then I'm gonna close the stream. Very interesting. Very interesting. There were definitely, let's go over some chats here, comments. We got JCT floor disclosure now, please. Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, this is disclosure in a sense, right? In the sense that we were disclosed new information, new videos, new photos, new PDFs. I'm actually very excited about these PDFs to go through them and see what information. There could be some very interesting information in these PDFs, right? And if anything, just a history, more context, maybe just to show actually how much this was being talked about and covered back in the day when people didn't really think about it, right? That's interesting. That's super interesting. Charlie Stewart says, I'll have a guess. It will be big, huge, humongous, nothing burger. I hope I'm wrong. Keep up the great work, Patrick. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, it's subjective in the sense you're going to have to decide for yourself how big a deal this is to you, depending on your knowledge of the subject, what you've taken in, right, in reference to. So just because you think it's a nothing burger doesn't mean someone else won't, and vice versa. And again, we haven't gone through all the files yet. So anyone saying this is all bullshit, well, we haven't gone through everything. Is there the smoking gun that aliens are on Earth? Probably not. But does that not mean there could be more information to help build better cases, understand other cases, understand just the overall outlook of UFOs in the United States? And it sounds like they're including stuff outside of the United States. I don't know what we're going to find. I, for one, am interested because half the time we just get stories from people. Again, I'm the most skeptical in here. Trust me, none of y'all are going to beat me on that. We only get stories. So this is nice to get some real hard data. What it means, I don't know, but definitely interesting. Larry Marks, thank you, Better, for doing a great job covering UFO UAP. Thank you, Larry. Absolutely, man. Look, this is a team effort, right? There was a lot of videos to go through, photos. Again, the PDFs are what are going to take a long time. My worry is people are going to just insert them into AI and then take that information and run with it. Now, that may be a short-term solution to look through these PDFs, but AI can be wrong. So we got to be careful with that. So I think what might be helpful is to run these things through AI. If it gives you something exciting, then go double check it in the files to make sure that's what it said, if that makes sense. But someone actually going through these PDFs and reading every little thing to see what they can find will be the ultimate. But that is so time consuming because, again, just that first PDF, and there are a lot of them. There's 162 files. That thing had 184 pages to it. We could be talking thousands here. And this is just, again, the first drop. According to the site, right, it's saying they're going to be releasing every few weeks. So, and you can see from the site up at the top, they have UFO as one of the menu to click on, right? So at least we know everything will go there. I'm okay with that. But again, I don't know about y'all, but I'm wondering, I guess that aliens.gov and alien.gov had nothing to do with this. Had nothing to do with this. Thank you, Larry, for the support. Andre, love y'all big. This ain't a nothing burger. You know, I'm of the mind it's a nothing burger in the sense that it's not bringing us big D disclosure, right? But that's going to come from a press conference, not from a file release, right? Let's be real. You know what I mean? They're going to have a press conference if they're going to disclose we're not alone on this planet and all that sort of stuff. This is just information. data and what we can do with it. Those NASA photos, I'm super interested in that triangular one. I am super interested in that one. If I just get that, I'm happy. Again, to me, it's way better than just stories. Who ordered the double nothing burger from Teodoro Franco? Again, nothing burger, something burger. It's subjective. You're going to have to decide for yourself. I, for one, am looking forward to going through all the files. I'm a nerd that way. JP flies a drone. JP flies a drone. Got it. MQ9 operator here of 24 years. Very interesting. Okay, very cool. What most of the videos were collected by. Interesting. So you're saying you think most of the videos were collected by MQ9 drones. I'd love to hear which videos you found the most compelling, if any. I think there was a few that were compelling to me. But the most compelling one to me that I don't see people talking about online, I could be wrong, is the one that was in the wind farm, like the windmill farm that was off, like an offshore sort of, windmill farm. Just because the amount of wind and the way this object was moving through it was super weird. It seems like a drone just wouldn't be able to do that. But I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. That was an interesting video to me. There was reference points, so you could tell size, speed, right? Like there was a lot more to the video. But again, without more information from those videos and the platforms, and you know what I mean? You're trying to fight with both hands tied behind your back. It's really hard to do that and make those determinations. So I'm hoping that some experts can sort of weigh in and we can at least get the best we can. But to really do an in-depth analysis of each of those videos, you need way more information. Otherwise, you're just guessing. And if you're wrong, you don't know you're wrong, right? If you start the foundation, it's like starting a math problem. If you start wrong and keep doing the math, but you were wrong from the get-go, it's all wrong, right? So, and again, we don't know with each case how much investigation was done into each one. It's just we're left with nothing. That's why that NASA photo is super interesting to me. That NASA photo is super interesting to me. And again, I do look forward of going through the PDFs. That's probably more interesting than anything. But I think the videos, there's just not enough there. Like videos are great, and that's what people want to look at. You don't have to read anything. Okay, watch the video. Ooh, ah. But not really that excited by the videos in that sense. There was a few that were interesting, but nothing too crazy. Logan, please go to page 49. You will find a conversation from a guy named Dr. Edward Condon talking about aliens. Okay. Well, we'll have to do that on another one, man. It's just too much. But yes, Dr. Edward Condon, sure. Let's see if I can find. What page did you say? 49? Let me see. On that same PDF? Oh, okay. You know what? Good. Let's do it. I'm going to bring this up, Logan. We'll read this one little thing here. All right. So it says, Boulder, Colorado, Dr. Edward Condon, head of a government-financed scientific study of unidentified flying objects, said today he had received a letter telling him when and where a flying saucer would land on Earth. Condon, professor of physics at the University of Colorado, said he would write to the man and ask him on what basis he made the prediction. He gave me the exact date and the exact location the saucer would land, said it would be manned by persons from another planet, Condon said. He suggested we contact the space travelers and make friends with them, the University of Colorado professor said. Condon would not disclose the name of the person who wrote the letter, say where the predicted landing would take place, or the date. He did say it would be sometime this spring. I'm going to answer the letter to try and find out what the basis is for the man's prediction, Condon said. Condon also disclosed that Dr. Robert M. Lowe, deputy director of the CU Flying Objects Investigation Project, was in the Joplin, Missouri, Pittsburgh, Kansas area today checking out reports on UFO sightings. He said low probability would return to Boulder tonight. All right, that's interesting. That's what I mean. That's just one page, right? That's just one page. All right, very interesting. Good job, Logan. Now released Dear Leaders disclosure coin. Not sure, Nick 420 here. I guess Trump coin. There's a Trump coin potentially going to be released. Yeah. I don't know. Houston, there's a black triangle on the moon. I just shit my spacesuit. Yes. Oh man, that's funny. Again, I that triangular object is super interesting to me. Justin Fokker. That better be your last name. Elon Musk should offer $1 billion and an elite entourage for 10 years to the first person who brings indisputable evidence. I mean, that's got to work, right? Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. That would be money well spent. He's probably spent, crazier money on stupider things. So, can't say I don't agree with that. Let's see what happens, to be honest. That's not a bad idea, though. I like that idea. Kid 575. I think each batch they release will be more and better each time. Controlled disclosure. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if they'll know. Does that make sense? I think they're just putting it out and people will find things. So it's hard to say what's going to be revolutionary in each of these batches. I don't even think they know. They're just kind of putting stuff out as they find it, they're saying, right? And they declassify it and put it out. So I don't know if it's going to be like that. If anything, honestly, it's up to us. It's up to the people that are receiving this information to really dig in and find things. That's what it's going to be up to, right? Essentially, that's what's really going to determine how valuable this stuff is and what we find and how we can connect it to other things. I don't know. Now, there may be more information that comes out of this. It could be just boring research, but that brings about something more exciting. So hard to tell, to be honest. So, but yeah, again, just to reiterate, 162 files, batches will be released every few weeks, it says, as they get it, as they declassify it, as they put it out, coming across all different organizations in the United States government. It includes videos, images, and PDFs. What I do like about it is it's all in one place to take a look at. When you go to other sites, you got to click around 100,000 times just to get to one thing, and it's a total pain in the ass to look at this stuff. This does make it very easy. It's a nice user interface to look at. So those are sort of the positives, right? The negatives, as grateful as I am to get the information, again, it's lacking a lot of information, especially with the videos and the photos to help us determine what is going on in the photos or videos. So I don't know what kind of public analysis the public can do, right, on these things without that information. So any deep analysis you're going to see on some of these videos, it's really hard to trust because there's so much lacking information. And I know people are going to run with it. They're going to run and start making determinations off of things when it's impossible for them to make certain determinations. So at the end of the day, I think the PDFs might be the most fruitful in what we find in them. Old correspondence, letters, files, right? All kinds of things. And to me, out of all the photos and videos, that triangular, the three lights on the 1972 Apollo mission is the most interesting. That is the most interesting. That there was an initial analysis back in the day But they did a new analysis, and they are determining that is a real object there, right? Not some sort of glare. And that they're going to do a more in-depth analysis about that photo and that event, because they have the original film, and release that later. That's what I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to the visual files that have been released. The photos and videos, that particular one is super interesting to me. So anyway, lot to look through, y'all. You're going to see a lot of people talking about it, covering it. I'm personally going to wait to sort of hype it up or dog on it until everything kind of comes out about it. So a lot of work to do. I got a lot of reading to do to go through all this PDFs. I'm sure probably this weekend I'll try to make a video and bring together all the most compelling stuff that's been found so far. And you know, see what comes out of it, right? That's essentially it. We'll just kind of go from there. I'm sure a lot of creators, people are going to be talking about it and finding things. So if you have a favorite, UFO researcher, pay attention to them, see what they're going to be finding out. I hope some experts weigh in on this and can help. But yeah, it is what it is. It's more data. I, for one, am excited about it. And if this is the beginning of everything the government has that they deem to be unidentified or anything related to flying saucers, I'm happy to get it out so we can see it. And if it's bullshit, well, then we at least know it's bullshit. If there's something there, then there's something there, right? So anyway, I want to thank everyone for hanging out today. This was a lot of fun to do this and to sort of vet together. So I really appreciate it. And again, look for a video this weekend, maybe Sunday, could be even Monday. I want to wait. I want to make sure I can get everything compelling. So you're going to see people right away putting stuff out, which is fine. But I'm going to wait a couple days, right? Let some of this sink in. Let some of the best information rise to the top. And then we'll put out a video like that. I may try to do a live stream later, maybe even this weekend with a couple other people and kind of discuss some of this stuff. Just to hang out, but we'll wait and see. I really just want to put my effort into the research and digging into all of these PDFs and not just relying on other people's research of what they've done. I want to do my own and see what I can find as well. So yeah, really appreciate everyone. Hit that like button on the way out if you can. That'll really help. And thank you to everyone that tuned in. We'll see you guys on the next one, Vetters. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.